Have you ever had a day where you did everything right and still felt like it wasn't enough? You worked harder, you gave your best, you tried to improve, and still, a quiet voice inside whispered, "You could have done better." Not loud, but heavy. This is the story of a man who lived with that voice every single day. And like most people, he believed, maybe I just need to work harder. But what he discovered changed everything. In a small, quiet town where mornings arrived slowly, and the streets carried a soft stillness before sunrise, there stood a modest bakery on the corner of an old road. Its wooden sign had faded with time, but every morning, before the first light touched the sky, the shop came alive. Inside, the air was warm. Flour floated in soft beams of light, dough rested on worn wooden tables, and the oven hummed gently in the background. At the center of it all was a man named Ethan. By the time others woke up, Ethan had already been working for hours. His hands moved with precision, kneading, shaping, adjusting. But if you looked closely, you'd notice something different. Ethan wasn't just working, he was watching himself work, as if every movement was being judged. And inside his mind, there was only one thought: it's still not enough. To others, Ethan was dependable. Customers trusted him. People recommended his bakery. Business was steady. But Ethan didn't see any of that. He only saw what wasn't perfect. If someone smiled and said, "This is really good," Ethan would nod politely. But inside, a voice whispered, "But it could be better." And if someone casually added, "A little dry today," that one sentence stayed. While baking the next batch, while wiping the counter, even at night, it replayed again and again. Even when 50 people were happy, Ethan's mind held on to the one who wasn't. Ethan pushed himself harder, woke up earlier, slept later, experimented with new recipes, compared himself to other bakers. Ethan, he improved constantly, but something strange happened. The more he improved, the less satisfied he felt. Even on his best days, no complaints, no mistakes. He didn't feel proud, just relieved. At least today wasn't bad. One evening, after closing the shop, Ethan stood alone inside. The oven had cooled. The noise had faded. Only silence remained. He looked around, full shelves, a working business, everything in place. And yet, inside him, there was only emptiness. Not loud, not dramatic, just heavy. And for the first time, Ethan didn't ask, "How do I improve?" He asked, "Why does this never feel enough?" That question stayed. And the next morning, Ethan did something different. Ethan locked the door and walked away. He had heard about someone, a quiet man, Ian, who lived beyond the edge of town. People said, "He doesn't give answers, he helps you see." After a long walk, through empty paths and still air, Ethan found him. A small hut, simple, silent, and outside sat the Ian, calm, still, present. Ethan stepped closer. "I've tried everything," he said, "but nothing feels enough." Ian looked at him quietly. No surprise, no judgment, just understanding. Then he spoke good. Ethan frowned slightly. Ian continued, "That means you're ready." A pause. Ian stood up slowly and motioned for Ethan to follow. They walked behind the hut, past dry grass and uneven ground, until they reached a narrow path leading up a small hill. Ian stood up slowly and motioned for Ethan to follow. They walked behind the hut, past dry grass and uneven ground, until they reached a narrow path leading up a small hill. At the bottom lay a large, rough stone, heavy, uneven, silent. Ian pointed at it. For the next 7 days, come here every morning before your bakery opens. Ethan listened carefully. Carry this stone to the top of that hill. Ethan nodded. Then Ian added, and bring it back down. Ethan frowned. What's the purpose of this? Ian looked at him calmly, then said, don't just do it. Notice what it does to you. Day 1, Ethan bent down, gripped the stone, and lifted. His hands struggled to hold it steady. It was heavier than it looked. Still, he began climbing. Step by step, his breathing changed. At the top, he dropped it and stood there. No result, no meaning. Each day, the same pattern repeated. Resistance, doubt, frustration, exhaustion. The stone never changed, the hill never changed, but something inside Ethan did. It grew heavier. Ethan reached the top, dropped the stone, and this time, he didn't move. He sat down, breathing heavily, staring at the ground, then said quietly, I'm tired. No matter how much I try, nothing changes. His voice cracked. It's never enough. Ian walked up slowly, sat beside him, then asked Ethan, did the stone ever become lighter? No. Did the hill become easier? No. Ian nodded, then looked at him and said, then why did you expect the feeling to change? Silence. Ian continued, every day you carry the same weight and expected effort to fix how you feel. He pointed at the stone. This isn't the real burden. Then gently pointed at Ethan. This is, Ian said softly, you were never tired of the work. Pause. You were tired of carrying the feeling that you are not enough. If you carry that belief, no amount of effort will ever feel enough. So next time, when nothing you do feels enough, pause and ask yourself, am I truly lacking? Or am I just carrying something I was never meant to carry? Until the next story, keep growing. But don't carry the weight that makes everything feel heavy. Because the moment you let it go, even your smallest effort will finally feel enough.